Hey guys, it's me, Max Dean. It's good to see you here. Are you here? Don't just phone it in. You know what I mean? Commit. I feel like I should be committed. Let me explain what's going on in the world of my family right now. My mom has been having health problems and just had to have some stent action done on her heart. You know what a stent is? Yeah. So she had to get a stent put in, and she may have to have um, another one of my aunts, my mom's sisters, is getting a pacemaker put in this Friday. Today's Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. And another one of my mom's sisters passed away. It's very sad. Today's actually the day of the funeral, but it's in Victoria, Texas. It's a couple hours away, and being that my mom just got out of the hospital, she's in no condition to travel. So she's upset about not being able to make it. So basically, our family spirits are kind of low right now, and that being the case, I haven't been really doing any videoing. I haven't been really doing anything aside from keeping up with my mom's medicines and making sure that she rests and that whole thing. So it's been occupying a lot of my time, and which is no problem. I absolutely have no problem with that whatsoever. That's why I'm here. And yeah, so that's where we're at as far as not seeing me around on the YouTube lately. Like my hat? Found it in the house. This is just a big devastating thing, having my Aunt Pat pass away. We grew up on weekends and summers as little kids in Victoria, Texas, with my Aunt Pat and my cousins. My cousin Rick, who was the oldest, he ran the business that they had, which was, and with my aunt, of course, which was a dance hall, a convention center and slash dance hall that down the line, later in years, he transformed partially into a weightlifting gym. And the memories that we have growing up in Victoria on weekends and holidays and summer breaks and Christmas breaks and all that stuff when we were in Texas, my family was Air Force, so we were at times out of Texas. We were in Colorado, Guam, but a lot of learning was done in Victoria. There was my cousin Bobby, who is about my age, and he and I would just be into everything that we could possibly be into to stay occupied, to have fun. At the dance hall they owned, it was called Riverside, and it was right next door to Riverside Park in Victoria, Texas. If anybody is familiar with Victoria that's watching this, right next to Riverside Park. And back when we were growing up in the 80s, early 80s, they built a dirt bike, like BMX track. So we would get into that. Then there was the dances on the weekends at night. There would be bands like Selena, before Selena was popular, when she first started touring, when she was very young, Selena y los Dinos, they would play there occasionally. La Mafia, the band, it's another Tejano band, before they were huge, would play there. Just countless bands, and then big names like country stars, Ronnie Millsap. At the time, in the early 90s, we saw Color Me Bad. I mean, there's just been so many things, and not just see the bands play there, but meet them, because my cousins owned the venue. So, it was really cool to meet these people and all these things, and just learning how to work, as a little kid. You know, we learned what manual labor was, learning how to mop, learning how to sweep, learning how to pick up chairs and stack them for like convention style, out of the way chairs, folded chairs, put them away, organizing. Sawdust is a miracle. Let me tell you, they'd buy this sawdust. Maybe it was cedar sawdust. But at the end of the night, after a band played and the place cleared out, they would pick up all the cans, separate them. So I also learned recycling. And then the regular trash was separated and thrown out separately. Then they would clean the tabletops, chairs put on top of the tables. Then they'd sweep up the big stuff, and then they would put sawdust down, and the sawdust, by sweeping up the sawdust, it would get all the little stuff, all the little like cigarette butts and this and that and whatever, and it left a nice smell in the place. You know, it didn't smell like spilled beer and whatever, even though there was mopping in the whole show, you know, the entire thing. Good things. Like, I'm happy to have learned them. Well, anyway, I loved growing up in Victoria with my family on weekends and holidays, and I'll never ever forget those memories. Myself or any of my cousins, all of us, we all spent time there. We all did it. We all went fishing in Port Lavaca and Port O'Connor. We all went to Riverside Park for their fajita cook-offs and chili cook-offs, and Riverside Park had a zoo. So we would sneak over there and look at the animals and look at the, you know, whatever the animals were that were there. It was tiny, tiny little zoo, you can imagine, but a zoo nonetheless. Walking home in the middle of the night or in the middle of the afternoon just to have something to do, and walking through graveyards, 4 graveyards on the way home through the back roads. I mean, all the stories of La Llorona and La Chusa, and, you know, just scary stories, all this stuff that childhood, that a childhood of any substance anyways is contained, you know, has contained those things. So I'll never ever forget those memories, and my Aunt Pat being there throughout all of it to make sure that we were fed, to make sure that we had somewhere to sleep, to make sure that, you know, and I mean, what I mean by that is there would be nights after those dances that didn't end till 2 o'clock in the morning where we would sleep at Riverside. You know, there was stage dressing rooms and stuff that were set up with, you know, accommodations, and so we would crash out there, and it was spooky and it was fun. Me and my cousin Bobby, and everybody'd leave, and just me and my cousin Bobby in this huge dance hall, sleeping backstage, you know, in this little dressing room above the stage, and just, you know, making each other laugh, but because we were frightened, you know, so scared out of our wits. But it was I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm trying to remember my aunt today in a positive way and not be sad, because it is a very sad day for us. And dear Patricia, I love you, and I'll never ever forget you. I'm Max Dean, guys, and I'm gone for today. Got to get back to taking care of my mama, and I don't know, I got some projects, artwork to catch up on, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that. The weather's kind of ugly, it's rainy, it's cold. I got my hat, got my bald head. So I hope you understand, and if not, dang. I'm Max Dean. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like, or if you want to wait and see another couple videos, see if it gets any better around here. It's going to get better, guys. Just kind of in a low spot. It's going to pick back up real quick. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.